I was told early on in my recovery that picking up's not the first thing you do when you relapse, it's the last. And in order for you to truly understand that statement, you have to understand what people usually do prior to relapsing. So today we will look at what usually happens when a person is possibly headed for relapse and what prevention skills we can use if it happens to you or if you know someone else who can use these skills. Hi, I'm the Libra Man. Let's get right into it. Boredom. When we stop using drugs, it leaves a void in our lives, inside and outside, that needs to be replaced by something. It is very important in our early recovery that we don't have a lot of idle time on our hands. By being a part of a regular group meeting, not only are we giving ourselves things to do, we are also meeting up with people in recovery that have already done the things, and we can do them with them together. Ain't nothing more assuring to a person that's getting ready to start doing something than to be around people that have already done it and have succeeded and can show you how. Another one is relationship issues. When we get into recovery, some of us, not all of us, are still in attached relationships with people that we were with when we were using. Now, whether they're using or not is not as important as if we are making the decision to do the right thing. And if we're making the decision to do the right thing, that includes not being a part of someone who is using drugs. I know we don't want to turn our backs on these people. They've been with us through thick and thin. You might have been in jail and they stuck by you. And you don't want to feel like you're getting clean and now leave me alone. But at the same time, your recovery must come first. That's the only way it will work. Sometimes people see that spark in us and people see that change and see the benefit of it in us, and they actually start coming around and considering that for themselves. So you don't have to throw the talent on the person. You just have to let the person know your boundaries and certain things you just cannot do anymore. Which leads me to number 3, people, places, and things. Most of us, when we get clean, are still in the area that we used in. We're not used to being clean there. People there aren't used to us being clean. So a lot of those people are going to see you and offer you things because they don't know you went and got clean. And it's going to be at those times, it's up to you that's going to determine whether or not you stay in recovery or go back out and relapse like we're talking about in today's topic. These are the times we use those new support people. We might have been in treatment and went to a couple of meetings and got numbers from people. And then after we got out, we started going to the NA meetings. We started calling and contacting them people. We got more numbers. We actually found a sponsor. Those are the times that you have to utilize those numbers and utilize those things and all that literature you have. You know, it's a good idea in early recovery to carry literature with you. Carry Who's an Addict with you. Carry what's an NA program. Carry Why Are We Here. Carry sponsorship. Carry those kind of things with you so that in the event that you need them and you have to take a little break, maybe you might be at work or something, somebody's offering you to do something or something like that, and you might need to reflect on those things of why you're doing what it is that you're doing. It's not a bad thing to do that. Make sure that you stay away from your people, places, and things, though. A lot of the people that you were around before, a lot of the places that you went, and most importantly, a lot of the things that you did. Sometimes you're walking down the street and you have to make a left instead of going right, even though right's closer to where you're going. Sometimes you have to go around things in order to keep yourself in recovery. It's very important that you take the steps that you need early on that has you continuing to be in recovery. I'm 34 years in recovery and I'm not clean today from what I did last week, last month, or even last year. I'm still here from the things and the choices I made at the beginning. Number 4 is a big one. Stress. We all have it. When we first get clean, most of us want to have everything all at once. We want to mend those old relationships with friends, family, with our kids. We want to make things right when we've wronged people. We want to do all of those things, and we want to do them all at once. And then materialistic wise, we want our car, we want our place, we want a job, we want everything at once. Having these kind of expectations on us can lead to a large amount of stress. And stress has a whole lot to do with us returning back to using if we don't manage it right. We have to do some of the things like I was talking about earlier when I said about calling people and doing those kind of things. You got to share about those things at your meetings when you go to meetings. You got to talk about that stress. You got to talk with a sponsor. You got to make up a plan and say, okay, what are my expectations? I can only do one thing at a time. And until I get myself right, me going around telling people I'm sorry and doing this and that is not going to do me a bit of good, because everybody don't got to accept my apology. So if I go say, hey, I'm sorry I did so and so and so to you, and the person say, oh, go to you know where, I'm going to have to be able to accept that and take that and be able to deal with that. That's why it's not a good idea early recovery to go around trying to make amends and do this and do that. You have to get yourself right. You have to build yourself from the inside out. You can't let your feelings and emotions lead you back to using drugs. If you work on yourself and you do the things you need to do for your recovery, there are going to be things that happen in your life that's beyond your ability to imagine. So if I say beyond your ability to imagine, that means even those things you wrote down like I was just talking about, you're going to go far past that. So you just got to give time. Recovery is a day at a time program. And a lot of times by fixing yourself, you'll be surprised at how many other things in your life it fixes. Some things that you think you're ready to fix, you ain't even got to fix no more. Some of them relationships are going to mend on their own because they're going to see that you're doing the right thing and that you're in recovery now and that you are on the right path. And sometimes, in terms of family and friends and stuff like that, that's all they really want to see is you doing the right thing. And last but not least is financial problems. I know when we get in recovery, a lot of times we have debt from businesses. We have debt that we owe to friends and family and this and that. And a lot of times those debts can be really, really weighing on us, especially when people are bringing them up to us, especially when we're getting bills in the mail and notices and things like that, especially in early recovery. We must hang on. We must do what we can when we can. We must not overload ourselves. We can write out a plan of the things that we owe and prioritize them in order of what's the most important opposed to what's the least important, and just start working on them. Get a job and just start developing some income. Keep in mind that you still need time for your meetings, your sponsor, working your steps and things like that. But you do have to make amends in financial ways. I'm telling you, just hang in there. The early part of recovery is when you are building your foundation. And building the foundation of recovery is like building a house. If you build a house and the foundation, the bottom, the beginning of it, it's all rocky and not designed properly and not put together properly, and you build all of that other stuff on that house, which is the years that we are in recovery afterward, and something happens and the wind blows like it does on the house, it blows the house over because the foundation wasn't set properly. That's the same type of foundation that you have to have in your recovery. It's amazing how things are going to come together for you with the help of a power greater than yourself, whoever you believe in or whatever you believe in, positive people, and you working a program of recovery. It's going to bring a lot of things together for you. You just got to keep doing it one day at a time and not give up 5 minutes before the miracle. If you like anything I said in this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, and until next time, The Libra Man is out.